I don't know if you should. I don't know if you can. Well, nobody from here has ever did what you're doing. I ain't like everybody from here. I'm sorry that you are. You have a chance to not be like everybody from here. I can do anything. You can do anything. The problem is they don't truly believe that. You know, everybody hears these Michael Jordan stories.
What's going on? I'm Cameryn Curtis.
And I'm Jordan Curtis. Welcome to Grindhustlemotivation podcast.
This episode is about finding something you love. And there's actually a scripture in the Bible. It's Matthew 6:21. Wherever your treasure is, there the desires of your heart will also be. Which it means wherever you put your treasure over all else, that's where your heart and your desires will be. You put your desires, your treasures on earthly things, you're going to focus on that rather than putting it on God. And if you put your treasures in God, all else will fall into place.
Absolutely. I agree with you on that, because when you really just focus on your purpose and what God wants you to do, everything else will align. And most people put their love in, material things, like you stated, and just love of money. And money is the root of all evil, like they say, but it'll push you to do things that are out of the ordinary of what you would usually do, or out of alignment with what God would want you to do.
Right. It's almost like we get caught up because we can't see God all the times, but we can see these materialistic things on the earth, so we put our treasures in these materialistic things and without even realizing it, and it does take away from God's purpose for you and your purpose that God wants to do through you. So you're focusing on things on earth when you should be focusing on God. Then everything else always falls into place.
It does, and it just makes me wonder, why do we, as human beings, why do we worship items? Is it because we can't see God?
That's my view of it.
Is it because that's what we truly value over His love? Or are we so desperately in search of His love that we treasure these things that we can see? I just try to really wrap my head around why we put so much love and put so much just belief in these materialistic things that you can't take it with you.
I think what it is, we're taught to be visually satisfied. So we see these materialistic things, we see these things right in front of us, and see that the next person has what we want. We can see that, we can visually see it, and it's comfortable to do. It's easy to just, I can see him, let me follow what he's doing. I can see that brand new G-Wagon, let me do what I gotta do here on earth my way, rather than doing it by God's way. You can't see it, and it's uncomfortable to do it His way because you're so used to comfort and convenience. You can tell I watched Michael Todd's last sermon, but I'm living my life by it. If it's convenient and if it's comfortable and easy to do, it's probably not the right thing that God wants you to do.
Amen to that. And something that a lot of us do is compare to the next man. Like, he has this, so I want that. Or he has this type of family or this type of job, now I want that. That's not your purpose. He may not even be walking in his purpose, but you're jealous of him. And even if he is in his purpose, it's not yours. So just don't compare. Just, it's all gonna come. It's all gonna come. Don't focus on the money. Don't focus on the cars, the house, or the relationships. Just focus on you. Focus on your purpose. Focus on finding God, and everything else will come in time, and it'll all be beautiful when you get there.
Just like we'll be looking at these social media, these influencers, rappers, and all that stuff, and they're living this lavish lifestyle, and they're not even living for God the whole time. They're doing things that are sinful ways, lusting ways, and you see that on social media. You see everything they got, and you just kind of worship that rather than worshiping God, when you need to worship God first, and then everything that you need in your life will fall into place. You just got to trust Him, stay committed to Him, put yourself in those comfortably uncomfortable situations to change yourself for the better.
And that's another thing, is being comfortable, being content is a terrible place to be. And you brought up Michael Todd, and I watch his sermons too. He's a great preacher.
Right.
And it made my mind wander. It made me think, I want to be sustained, not comfortable. And by comfortability, I mean comfortable where I'm at on this earth, comfortable with my earthly desires, with where I'm at in the physical being. I don't want that. I want to continue to be sustained. And by sustained, I mean sustained through God, sustained in the love of God and spreading his love and helping others find not comfortability on this of earthly desires, but to be sustained through him.
And the audience might be wondering, well, why are they talking about being comfortable? Why are they talking about being uncomfortable and putting themselves in this situation when they're supposed to be talking about finding something you love? Well, finding something you love starts with putting yourself in that uncomfortable situation to change yourself for the better, because then you learn a little bit about yourself and how to change and what you can find that you do love even better.
Yeah, and trying things that necessarily maybe make you uncomfortable, you'll find out, man, I really love doing that after I took that leap, or man, I don't want to do that again.
Yep.
It's just, pushing to try these new things and really walk in the right path of what your life has in store for you.
Yeah, absolutely. You find things you love by trying new things. You might try this one thing, you think you love it, or you think you'll like it, so you try that, and then it turns out you actually don't want to do that, but what it did do is mark that off the checklist. Now you can go to the next thing, or something that you might have developed through trying that, and then you're like, okay, now I want to try this. You might strike out on that one too, and then you come up with these new ideas of things that you want to find that you love to do. And that's just how you do it, by trying new things, and then eventually you will find something that you love. And once you find something that you love, you're a natural at it.
Mm-hmm.
It just comes with ease. Not really ease, it just comes with hard work that you love doing. So really it's not work, because you love doing it. You love waking up every single day and you think about it constantly. You think about how to improve on it. Whether it's a business, job, or just being a better person, you love everything about it. And it's what drives you through every single day. You love it.
And people, most of the time, when they think of love and are wanting to love something, they'll think of a relationship, or they'll think of, I want to love my job. It's not necessarily your job or your relationship that we're speaking of love. We mean loving life, loving who you are. Because like we said previously, and just it always comes down to, you can't love anything or anyone until you love yourself. So just finding love and the love of God and loving him and knowing that he loves you, and just then moving forward into being a kind person and loving people around you, just trying to do these different things and trying to live a joyful and unsinful life and just find true happiness that way.
Yeah, when we speak about these things, finding something that you love, and the first thing that comes to your mind is, well, what can I find that I love that makes me money? You're the first person that we make these videos for. We're trying to hit you right now. You need to get the materialistic things out of there, get the money out of there, and find out what is something that I will love doing. Aside from all the other stuff, what will I love to do? And then all else will come after that, once you put love and hard work in it.
That's the first thing that I say when I talk to people, because people will ask me, because we ain't made it all off like that, but I'm sustained at this point in my life. I feel like I'm sustained in my happiness and with God.
Right.
And people will ask me like, man, I want a business, or I want to live this type of lifestyle, like just the happiness lifestyle. Like, what should I do? And I'm like, just, what do you love to do? Like, oh, I love to make money. That's not what I asked you. What do you love to do? And most people, they don't know what they love to do. They just have engulfed this belief of money is happiness, so the only thing that brings them this happiness, or any happiness, is finances.
Yep.
And you won't ever know what you love to do until you go out and ignore the money. The money doesn't have to be there. Do what you love to do and the money will come. And if you truly love something, like you truly love what you do, waking up every day in the morning, you go do what you love, you will be sustained. I promise you will. The money will come to it. You just truly put effort behind it. Keep trying and keep trying. It'll pay off. Because in the long run, if you do that thing that you're just doing for money, the flame's going to run out. You're going to grow tired of it.
You get burnt out.
Yeah, you're going to get burnt out every time.
And people just need to get it out. I mean, what we do is we're so visually satisfied, like I was saying, and we want to lust after money when we say, oh, I don't even care about the money. But really, when you're thinking about your goals, most of the time you're thinking about what can I do that I love that makes me money. And it's hard to get aside the money just because we're taught to be visually satisfied and think about the money. Everybody lusts after that. Everybody is materialistic for the money. And aside from all that, you find something that you love doing. You wake up in the morning ready to go. You're happy, ready to brush your teeth. You find love in that. You find love in a warm shower, a cold shower. You find love in eating. You find love. You're just genuine and love every single day. You love breathing the air. That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about finding something that makes you that happy that money doesn't even matter. Because once you find something that you love, you're going to be fulfilled and so productive in it that the money will then come after time and putting in that effort, putting in the hard work day in, day out, because it's not even work to you. You just love to do it. Just like these videos, we love to do it. Mm-hmm. Aside from all the materialistic things, I could care less. I just love doing this. I love reaching people. I love setting it up. We ain't got no tech guy. It takes an hour and a half to set up all this. Everything about it, I love it.
And that's the thing, waking up in the morning and choosing that thing that you love more than anything every day. You can't do it on the weekends. Like Monday through Friday, I'm going to do this thing that I hate, but it'll bring me money because I need money. I got to have money. That if you wake up every day to choose that thing that you love and just do that thing that you love, the thing that the thing you would do for free, the thing that you'd do for nothing, and just keep working at that, eventually it'll pay for everything. And people will say, well, I love this, but I don't see money in it, or I enjoy doing this, but I don't see how I can make that financially support me or financially sustain me. But there's a way to do that in everything. Just choose the thing you love. We're not here to do something that you hate for your entire life and then get to the end and be like, I never loved what I did. I never loved my life. I'd rather love my life and live poor than hate my life and be a rich man.
Miracles will come when you keep putting in that work every single day for something that you love. If you're just thinking about the materialistic, the money constantly, then of course you're going to hit these peaks and then you're going to duck out on them goals and them dreams because the whole time you was chasing money. Once you stop chasing money, then the money will chase you. Mm-hmm. But it's not even about the money at the end of the day. It's about doing something that you love.
And like you said, chasing the money, it'll get you to these peaks and valleys, and then you'll feel like you're on the top of the world, and you'll look around and there's no one at the top with you, and then you'll drop off. You'll drop off because you're trying to search for your happiness because you put your happiness in money, but really the money will never bring you. It's lonely. It's materials. It's paper. It's a bank account that it don't love you back. What loves you back is family. God loves you back. God didn't put you here to consume this money, to drive a Rolls or to do what, have a watch, a gold chain, whatever. I'm not saying I don't have those things, but I don't love those things.
Right.
It's just putting your belief system behind that. And once you put your belief system behind finding joy in talking to another person and uplifting them, or doing a good deed, even if they don't know your name for doing it, or just finding someone to love and showing someone what love can be, that will bring you happiness in here. It may not bring happiness to your bank account, but does that matter? Is that what you care about that much? Because at the end of the day, it ain't gonna matter.
Yeah, if you chase money, you'll never be happy. It kind of reminds me of a lot of people, including myself, before this mindset was chasing the money. It kind of reminds me of Mr. Krabs. Money. That's our mindset is, How can I make $1 on this? And you'll never find anything that you love, including sometimes in relationships. You're so worried about money and lusting after money, then you lust after the wrong women. And you fall into these pits that the devil put out for you to fail on. And you can't climb out of them because you're so focused on the negative. You're so focused on the materialistic and lusting after the wrong things, when the whole time God is trying to lead you into this path that's uncomfortable, but it changes you for the better, and it changes your mindset into finding something that you love, finding happiness.
And if you're putting your love in money to make you comfortable, money never ends. You can never top out. Be like, I got all the money.
Right.
The money never stops, so it's endless. It's endless, but you only need one person's love, one being's love, to be sustained, and that's God.
Right.
So why choose the thing that never ends, that you can never have enough of, that will cost you everything, whenever it costs you nothing to be sustained, when you give your heart to Him?
And we'll tell people our dreams and what we're doing, and it's not making us money, and they'll just look at us like they're crazy. Mm-hmm. But yet we go to bed happy, we wake up happy, and they go to bed hating their life. They wake up hating their life, going to a job that they absolutely hate. But the whole time I'm waking up, I'm happy as I can be. I'm doing something that I love. I'm thinking about how I can prove my businesses that I love. These podcasts, how I can take different classes to help me speak better, to get my mindset better. Watching these podcasts, watching these sermons, it's just all about putting in that grind, making yourself comfortably uncomfortable. Give all credits to Michael Todd for that. Is why my mindset's like this, and it's a good word. If you haven't watched it, I definitely recommend going and watching it. But yeah, you just like dieting. It's hard, but once you fall into wanting to change yourself for the better and how you can be a better human and doing something that you love, then you get attached to them things to make you better, and they improve you every single day, and then it becomes a part of your schedule, and you love everything about it.
I had somebody ask me before, because I love to speak, I love to help people, I love to motivate people and bring people up. And I had somebody ask me, how did you find that? How did you figure out this is what you want to do? And it's a weird story. It's a crazy story, actually. I worked at a prison before. I recently left there and am chasing this now. But I was working at a prison, and you're supposed to be the worst of the worst individuals. Like there's drug dealers, just all these different individuals. And I had a conversation with a guy in a jail cell, and I witnessed to him. I told him about God, and just the conversation that I had, it was like a 3-hour conversation in one of the most supposed to be not dangerous, but just worst places where you wouldn't think God would be, right? And I was witness to this man and had this conversation, and I could feel the presence of God in this jail cell, right? And I knew then, walking out and just feeling in my heart that this is what you're supposed to do. The feeling that I got from that outweighed all the money that I received from that job, outweighed all the benefits, the retirement, everything that I was told I would get at the end of the road. Where that gave me the faith to walk away from that. The comfortability of my job, of the pension that I'll have when I'm done, the money where I could have took care of my family, like comfortably. We could have been comfortable. I decided that's not what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to walk away from this to now be sustained through Christ, because that's what I feel like He wanted me to do. And ever since I have, and I really have been chasing this and really been trying to help people, I found my calling and my purpose, and no amount of money can take me away from that. I will never work another day for another man on this earth, because I'm working for the one above.
Oh, that's good. I love that. What do they call it? Walking in faith. But not only walking in faith, walking in love. You stopped pitching out and speaking things and talking in your prayers, which is nothing wrong with that. But you stopped just pitching out a bunch of things and talking all the time, and you started taking in. You started feeling His presence when you were talking to Him in the prison. Mm-hmm. You started feeling His presence. You started taking in what He's given you. He's showing you these signs. He's showing you everything that He's maybe was trying to get to you forever. And it just took you listening and feeling the presence in the room, speaking to somebody, which maybe would have been somebody speaking through God to you. Mm-hmm. And He didn't even know it. But God works in these funny ways, and once you start listening and feeling His presence rather than pitching out all the time, I had a guy tell me, because I pray every single night, a good buddy of mine, he told me, because I was like, man, I'm pitching and I'm praying all the time, but I just sometimes I don't feel like God, he's listening to me. And he said, well, maybe next time, sit there in a quiet room and try to switch up your prayers. The things that you say, maybe change it up by having the lights out, praying with your eyes open. Sometimes just feel the presence in the room and notice everything in the room. And as soon as he said that, I went home and I did it, and I felt the presence of God. Just like every time I do these podcasts, I feel the presence of God on us. Like right now, speaking this, I feel the presence of God. And I'm not saying pray with your eyes closed all the time. I'm saying feel his presence. And instead of pitching out all the time, maybe listen to him sometimes. Because he's going to show you some signs.
Yes. I'm a firm believer in normal conversation and normal gatherings is to listen twice and speak once. And that's also, I believe that through God. I mean, I'm not saying don't speak so much to him. I'm just saying listen twice as much as you speak. He'll guide you. He'll pull you. He'll give you signs twice as much as you ask him to. They may not even be things that you were asking him for, but he's continuously giving you signs. And if when you open your heart to him, he'll guide you through whatever you want to do or whatever you may think you don't want to do, but he wants you to do.
Right.
Because sometimes your purpose doesn't align with what your earthly desires want, you know.
And that's being comfortably uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. And it's hard for people to do that, so they just go back to, oh, he's not listening to me. Nah, you wasn't listening to him. He was trying to tell you these things, but it was just too hard for you. So you didn't want to change. You wanted to be comfortable sitting, reclining in that chair. You didn't want to get up and go to the gym. You didn't want to get up and chase your dreams as starting off as a side hustle maybe. If you're too worried about money, start it off as a side hustle. Just putting that time out every single day. Just keep going and just keep focusing on how to better yourself. Quit being comfortable.
And so many people, I'm not a huge supporter of a side hustle, and I don't mean that in a way like don't have that. But if your side hustle is what you love, that's what you really wake up and love doing and want to do and feel like you're supposed to do, then that should be your main thing.
Right.
There should make that your main thing. When somebody tells you, like I've had people tell me, well, man, what about the money? The money isn't there. And that's even more of a reason to separate yourself from them.
Yeah.
I mean, Proverbs 27:17, iron sharpens iron, so one sharpens another. And that means who are you around, and are they helping you get closer to your purpose? Are they helping you find God? Are they helping you go after that thing that you really want to? Or are you the only iron in the room and you're just sharpening everybody and they're leeching on you?
Right.
So sometimes you got to disassociate yourself with the people that maybe you should not be around.
And we'll be telling people our dreams and how we quit our jobs. You had a very good job, I had a very good job. And we quit that to pursue our dreams full time. And we'll tell people that and be like, I could never do that. I got bills to pay. You don't think I got bills too? I got bills just like you. I'm just more dedicated than you. I just want to work harder. I'm going to work harder more than you. You just don't want it as bad as I do.
And when he says that, don't take it personally. That's just the fact that we all got bills. I got a family to feed. I got a wife. I got a kid. I got bills to pay too, just like you. But my thing is, and your thing is, we don't use that as an excuse. We don't use that as a handicap in what we feel like we're called to do.
Right.
I'm called to this. You really think that if I go towards this calling that I feel like God's calling me to do and I pursue that, you think he's going to let me starve? You think that I'm not going to be taken care of? Be like, well, like, what about the money? I'm sustained. I've been sustained. There's been times where it wasn't supposed to be there and it is, and it's been through God. So my faith's just so strong that it's going to work out. There ain't no other option. And people will say, well, what? You should have a backup plan. Having a backup plan, you're planning to fail.
Yeah.
I'm not failing. I'm going to continue. I may have speed bumps that slow me down, But you don't fail until you give up, and I'm never giving up at this.
Because we're walking in faith, we're walking in love. These people will be sitting on the couch, visually sitting on the couch eating donuts and watching TV. We're outside grinding and pursuing our dreams, being uncomfortable. We're hot, we're sweating, and we're not putting ourselves on a high horse. We want to bring you with us. And if we sound arrogant to you, you're the main people that need to listen to this, because that's not at all what we want to do here. We want to bring you with us. We want you to bring yourself in your own situation, your own dreams. We want you to be the best version of yourself.
And honestly, it takes a mindset shift, because that happened to me, and I know it happened to you. That's what really got us on this path. Is there's two types of people. There's creatives and there's consumers. And when I say creative, I don't mean you got to create art, or you got to be a musician, or you even got to film. And just being creative as providing something for this earth. Maybe being a nice person, being a good person. Maybe that's the way you're creative. Or are you just sitting back and consuming everything that everyone else is creating? Somebody created your job. Somebody's paying you. Where instead, if you truly go towards after that thing that you want to do and be a creative and have that mindset change to where now I'm going to create my own happiness. I'm not going to rely on a position or a organization or a job to give me what I feel like my happiness is, which is money or finances, retirement. I'm going to create my own happiness, and that's how we're living right now. We create our own happiness, not through finances, not through making more money, through following in our purpose and helping uplift people, because this is more important than any amount of money could ever be.
Right.
And people will ask, well, why didn't you stay in the job and do this? You could have did both. And not fully devoted, I couldn't have.
Right.
You got to let go of some things to pursue to that next level. And I feel like God's calling me to, hey, I need you to let go and put your faith in me. Because if I don't walk away, do I truly trust him? And if I don't truly trust him, I'll never get the blessings that he has in store for me. So I said, okay, God, I'm really walking like that. I'll walk away from all the finances, walk away from the job, the comfortability. I don't need that. Put myself in an uncomfortable situation to now be sustained through him and now walk towards what he has in store for me. Now let me ask you, what if you fail while chasing something?
Then you're right back where you started. Except this time, you gain knowledge and a better understanding of your calling. Some people are scared to take that jump and scared to get a better understanding of their calling. That their fear of failure makes them the only thing stopping them.
And I feel like a lot of people they're too worried about how it'll be looked at if they do fail. And it makes me think of, they won't remember you for what you failed at or what you went through. They'll remember you how you reacted to it. Just like Kobe Bryant. I mean, I absolutely love Kobe Bryant. I know I bring him up multiple times, but I mean, that's Mamba. But they don't remember him by his Achilles being torn. They remember him going and sinking the free throws and walking off.
Right.
So it's not what happens to you or what roadblocks you hit or what failure, in your eyes failure, happens. It's about how you react to that, how you overcome that, and how you use that as fuel to now change and better where you would have stopped. If you would have stopped, you would have never got here.
And another thing that will be stopping them from their callings is that they're scared of what everybody else will think once they fail. And you're going to fail. That's just part of it, but you learn as you fail. And you got to get out and get these people out of your visions, and who cares what they do or what they say. You do it because you love it. My bad to cut you off right there, but you do it because you love it, and they're just they envy you. They want to do what you're doing, but they're too scared to, so they want you to be scared of it too.
And I've heard a lot of people, even close people or people that I've known, say like, that's weird. Like, what you're doing is weird. It's different. Like, why are you doing that? Man, I love that. I love that. I love hearing that, because that means if it's weird, it's different. That means you ain't gonna do it, and that means the person that you know in your circle and all them friends, they ain't gonna do it. I love that, because now that means I'm standing out, and that means I'm I got a purpose. If I'm sitting back and just like ants following the next ant and doing the same thing as them, think they're going to remember you? And it ain't about, somebody bowing down or being like, man, I remember him, he was great. But it's just about not getting to the end of your life and getting in front of God and saying, what did you do in my name? And God, sorry, I didn't want to be different. Was Jesus not different and Moses not different, David not different? And I'm not at all comparing us to them. I'm just saying they were called. And I feel like we're all called to do a thing.
Right.
So I want to be different in that case.
And when you're chasing your dreams, they'll call you weird. But are you really? They're calling you weird because they're comfortable. It's uncomfortable what you're doing, so they think that's weird. Really, it's just uncomfortable for them, and they're scared to do it, so they want you to be scared of it too. Don't listen to what everybody else is doing, because they're gonna put what they're scared of on you, and they see you grinding, they see you chasing your dreams. They just want you to not chase them. They want you to be sitting on the couch with them. Nah, we're getting off that couch. We're going to chase our dreams. We're going to do something great. Get all the other stuff out of here. It's about us.
Ignore them.
Yep.
Cut it off. It ain't no point in it.
Nope.
The more you keep them people around, the more that's the devil working through them. That's just them pulling you down, them leeching you, saying, I don't know if you should. I don't know if you can. Well, nobody from here has ever did what you're doing. I ain't like everybody from here. I'm sorry that you are. You have a chance to not be like everybody from here. I can do anything. You can do anything. The problem is they don't truly believe that. Everybody hears these Michael Jordan stories, but nobody wants to put in the work like Mike. I'm just saying, put the work in at what you want to do, and you can go anywhere. Like this thing that I feel like God's calling me to do, I know it's going to take me places. I know it's going to take me into rooms that someone from here may not have access to. But I now got to remember why I'm called to that room. I'm not called to that room to sit and, just enjoy luxury or enjoy earthly desires. I'm called to these rooms. I'm going to be called to these places in His name.
Right.
I got a badge on. I work, like I said, I don't work for no earthly being. I work for the man above. I got a badge on that says representative. I'm there to represent God and represent Him to people that have never heard Him. And once you truly just live this life and know that it doesn't matter what they say, it doesn't matter if they think that you can't, you can do anything. And we hear that all the time. You can do anything you want to do. They always tell us that through school, but do you truly believe that? And it comes back to our upbringing and the people that we put ourselves around. The people before them didn't believe it, so they pushed their I wish I would have onto their next generation.
Right.
And then they got pushed to us. I'm sorry, I ain't pushing it on to nobody. It's not I wish I would have, it's I know I'm gonna. And that's what you just keep passing down. That's the mindset, because once you truly click the mindset over into creative and know that I can get the things that I need to get to really chase that just the same as the person that does. Like if I need the camera, if I need the lighting, the mic, I can buy with this earthly money the same things that everybody else has. Yep. I'm not limited to anything. I have the same capabilities and the same resources as everyone else. It's just, do I truly believe I can walk this path? And I believe I can, and I know I'm going to. It's just the mindset change over to know that the area is not going to stop us. The people telling me that I can't do it isn't going to stop me. It's just truly going on this path.
Philippians 4:13. I can do all things through Christ whom strengthens me.
Amen.
I can do anything that God allows me to do, and I'm pursuing these dreams. I'm gonna keep going, and I'm gonna keep grinding. I don't need no man. I don't need no woman. I don't need anybody to tell me what I need to do. I need God. I'm gonna follow God.
Mm-hmm.
Once you start following God and get out materialistic things, get out opinions from others, caring what everybody else thinks, and put your vision on God and follow what God is trying to tell you, then you'll be in love with what you do. You'll be in love with your life. Mm-hmm. You'll love waking up in the morning. I don't need nothing. but God.
And you can have everything taken away, all these earthly desires. Take the clothes, take the watch, take the house, the car, take it all. It doesn't matter, because once you have God here, you know that you're fine. You know you're sustained. You know you're going to be taken care of. And I just walk with that, man. I may lose everything, but the thing about materials is it can be regained. You can take the house, there's always another. Take the car, there's always another. If my heart ain't right, there ain't another.
Right.
If I don't love God, there's no other to replace him with. And I brought it up a little bit earlier, and it's just, I really got this mindset a lot of when I get to the end of my life and I go before God and what did you do in my name? I'm now trying to, which is never enough. It's never enough. What you never can do enough on this earth, but you can do what you feel like is to the best of your capabilities. The right thing. So now I'm trying to maybe talk to the person that needs to be talked to, or representing God to people that have never heard him before. And just really trying to be like, God, I did everything that I could, and mean that, instead of what did you do in my name? And it's like, well, in the name of money, I did this, or I bought this, or I donated this amount of money, or what about your time, though? Did you worship him in the time that you were here? Did you really love him? Did you spread love in the time that you were here?
Right.
Because he doesn't care about your money. He didn't create money. Man, that's man-made.
Right.
Love isn't.
Amen. Everything without God is nothing, but nothing with God is everything.
Oh, I like that.
That might be taken up out there already, but that just hit me, and let's just say that I came up with that. I don't know.
Patting that boy, writing that down, man.
But man, it's so true. You can be the happiest person ever. Like when we was in, when you put aside the lusting and the money and the materialistic things, life is great. For example, when we went to Mexico and we were outside of the resort going to get something to eat, there was this little boy selling popcorn and chips and all that stuff, and before we even came up to him, he just had the biggest smile on his face. He was the happiest little guy you could ever see.
Yeah.
And it was hot. It was like 100 degrees. He was sweating. We was all sweating. It was drenched in sweat. We all wasn't. He was just had a smile that could fill up a room. And we went up to him, and he went up to him, talked to him, bought some stuff off of him, some popcorn. I don't know what the other stuff was called.
I forget.
I gave him some money, and he just was so genuine, and just, you could tell he just loved life. He just loved talking to people. I don't even think he cared about the popcorn and the money, all that. He just wanted somebody to talk to, and hey, I'll be there. And it just inspired me. He was a light in the room, and I don't know, it just made me feel good to be in somebody's presence like that. Just genuine and happy, not caring about materialistic things, not lusting after money and all this other stuff. It's just happiness and love from one to another.
And I'm sure you've heard it, because I've heard it before, is I want to be a child at heart, or I'm a child at heart. Like, you've heard people say that, but that right there, meeting that kid and hearing you talk about him, and actually made me just realize that what that saying truly means. Like, children don't know money. They don't know stress of the finances and the desires of earthly things. Like, they may want some toys, but they're not like, I need this, or money. Like, they don't worship those things. And it's almost like having a heart like a child, or when you're older. Like, I'd now strive for that. And hearing you just talk about that just brought that to my mind of, that's what that saying should truly mean. And maybe it does truly mean. I was just beyond me. But having the heart of a child in the way of not desiring earthly things, and just finding joy in being here, just being alive, just being in the presence of other people that are also at joy and at peace with what they do. And that is a beautiful thing. And that little dude, I don't know if I'll ever see him again, but he was at peace. You could tell he wasn't all financially set off, and maybe his family didn't come from the best upbringing or the best location, but you could tell he was happy and he was at peace. and just seeing somebody that has so much less than the normal person and they're happy. Do you really think the money and the finances and the big house that's going to bring you happiness?
You're never gonna have enough.
If he can love where he is, why can't I love where I'm at?
Right. I know millionaires that hate their life and are depressed, and they're just very negative people to be around. It feels like they're draining you when you're around them. And I know people that don't have that much, and they're pursuing what they love, or they love waking up in the morning. They just love spreading love and positivity, and they don't have money like that. They're not millionaires, but they're I would 10 times out of 10 times spend a day with the people that love everything that they do without no money than a millionaire that's just very negative and very draining.
And most of the time it's towards the end of our life where we actually, sometimes never, but most of the time it's towards the end of our life where we really like set that aside, the love for money, and find peace in where we're at now. But I feel like I'm blessed, and we're blessed to be in this point of life right now where money doesn't matter to me. I'm truly happy.
Right.
Like I find happiness in my relationship with genuine people like you and I. I find happiness with my home life and my relationship with meeting new people and helping them. I'm not exchanging. There's no money being exchanged hands. It's just a conversation of trying to uplift someone, and
Right.
I find happiness in that now. It's funny, you can walk around this earth with no money and don't exchange any paper, and you still can find so much happiness. And I'm blessed at 24 to just, I found happiness and I found peace without the money being involved. It gets you so tangled up and it gets you so stressed, where if you just truly let that go and walk into what finds you happy, you won't worry about it no more. And it's hard to say don't worry about it. Like, man, somebody goes back to bills and I have things to pay for, but sometimes you gotta let them things go. If you live your whole life and you hate everything about what you do and about your week, are you really living? Is that happiness? Is that what you want? You're like, walk away.
Right.
Like, walk away from it. It's not worth it. You got one life. You don't think there's another job out there? You don't think there's something else you can do to take care of your family that maybe you might like a little bit more? This is pushing you to the point of addiction, whether it be drinking, smoking, just whatever you're doing. It's pushing you to that point that you walk away from. You're living in sin now because you're trying to cope so hard with what you hate.
Right. Materialistic.
Exactly, and it's honestly sad. And we want to help more people really find what they love, and more people walk into what their purpose is, and just happiness, and let go of sin, and let go of worshiping these earthly things.
And it's not just about quitting a job. We're not saying just quit your job, all this other stuff. We're just saying we want you to love what you do. We want you to wake up happy. And that goes for anybody. There's other people out there that are genuine people, and we all just want each other to be happy. Wake up loving life.
And what's holding you back? Like, it may not be your job. You may love your job and be like, I'm still not happy. Like, what's holding you back?
Right.
Are you not, if it's your home life, say you got a husband, wife, kids, is it you're not communicating enough with your wife or your husband to be like, hey, this is where I'm not happy with this? Because, I mean, you got a job. I'm not saying leave them. I'm just saying, openly communicate. Like, hey, I'm really having trouble with this. And I feel like, especially in men, they hold back their true feelings. Like, we feel like we got a burden, like we can't show weakness. As a man, there ain't nothing wrong with that. Letting somebody know how you truly feel. Like, you're carrying this burden on you this whole time, where if you just openly communicate with the people that you love and tell them, hey, I'm honestly, I know I'm a man, I know I'm supposed to be strong and all this, but I'm hurting.
Yep.
Like, I need help too. There ain't nothing wrong with that. You don't got to always be strong. You don't always got to carry the weight of the world. Like, hey, you're hurting. Whether we see it or not, you need help. Like, let somebody know you need help. Because the people that truly love you will help you, and they'll pull you like, okay, this is where you're hurting. Let's make it better. Let's go this route. Let's change this. And if they don't want to change it, then they don't really love you, and they're not for you. I mean, I know I got good friends that I know are hurting. But the thing is that they take on this persona of being a man where they feel like they can't show weakness.
Right.
And it's a toxic trait to have, because, showing weakness and showing that you are a human being, that you want to better yourself. I'm a firm believer in that. I don't got to come up here. My thing is, I don't value the approval of no one. I don't value someone saying that he's strong, he's tough. Like, you may be strong, but you're hurting. Let somebody know. Walk. And once you truly talk to people and let them know, hey, this is where I'm hurting, this is where I want to do better. I love my job, but I'm hurting here, and this will make me happy. Like, this will really push me to like what I feel like my purpose is, my happiness is. Okay, they'll work on that with you, and then you better it that way.
Just communication is key. Simple as it can be. I didn't mean to rhyme there. Communication is as simple as it can be. Just like you can speak to your loved ones and tell them what's going on. You can speak to God, but also God can speak to you.
Mm-hmm.
Not necessarily, but He can show you signs. You just got to open up your eyes, like I was saying earlier, and listen to Him. He's trying to show you stuff, and you're too worried about pitching stuff out to Him and praying, which praying's good, don't get me wrong. But sometimes maybe just slow down and listen, because He's trying to show you some things, and He's trying to make you realize this is what you need to do, or put somebody in your life. This is your sign, and it can be a test. It's not always going to be sunshines and rainbows, trust me.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be hard if you want to change yourself, if you want to better yourself. It's just simple as it can be.
And man, I got a real good buddy of mine, and I ain't gonna put no names obviously, but I know he's going through a little spurt. And he asked me, he said, man, I feel like God's not in my life. I feel like too many things have happened throughout my life that I feel like He's not around. I feel like, why would this happen to me? And I mean, like that old saying, bad things happen to good people. I mean, the devil's working too. The devil's on this earth too, and God didn't cause those things. Those things may have happened, and it's sad that it happened. But there's so many things that God is doing in your life. God loves everyone, but everyone doesn't love Him. They'll walk away from God because things that happened in your past, but that's shaping your future. You may say, well, why would He take this person from me, or why would He do this in my life? Like, it wasn't supposed to happen. It just wasn't supposed to. It was on His time. It was their time. Everybody, like you said, man, everybody's got a clock above their head. It's clicking down. It's clicking down. Some people's clock runs out sooner than others. We don't know why, but it's God's power. Maybe their purpose was fulfilled here. They done enough in your life at such a young age that shaped the man that you are going to be for years to come. They may have walked out of your life before you were 19, 20, but they now shaped your life to push you to be this great man that you're supposed to be.
Right.
So by things happening to them, and it's sad, like nobody wants to lose somebody, but by things happening to them and them walking out of your life, now you're supposed to pick up the torch. You're supposed to carry it, and you're supposed to find, God, what do you want me to learn from this? What do you want me to do with this? But turning your back on Him because you are almost upset, or you just feel like you're burned by Him. Like he caused all this pain in my life. He is love. Yeah, pain happens, bad things happens, but you can't put everything on God. The devil's just as much at play here as God is. But you now, by turning your back on Him, you're letting the devil come into your life. And you're wondering, why can't I find happiness? Why can't I find peace? Why am I have this addiction? Why am I struggling so hard? You turned your back on God a long time ago. He's not here. He's not here with you anymore because you won't let Him in. Like they say, that He stands at the door and He knocks. Like, open the door. But he's not going to barge in and just be like, I'll swoop up and I'm changing everything for you. I'll do all this for you. I think Michael Todd said it too. I mean, he's a gentleman. He's not going to come in. He knocks. And if you really open the door and to your heart and allow Him to come in, He'll change everything. He'll fix everything. He'll work to help you find your happiness. But you turned your back on Him so long ago that you let the devil come in, because he runs through the door. He doesn't care if you got to close or not. This isn't the house of God anymore because you done kicked him out. The devil runs in. He breaks in and does what he wants, whether you like it or not. So don't blame everything on God because you turned your back on him. You kicked him out of your life. He wants to come back in. You just won't let him in.
And what's that saying? God's timing, not mine. Mm-hmm. And what I said in that last podcast, that actually the quality of the video and audio got messed up, is a quote from E.T. when he's talking about his grandmother, and they were asking him if he's upset about it, which of course he was. Anybody would be. But it makes you look at life different because everybody has that number on top of your head. You just can't see it. That number is the days that you have left on this earth. If everybody could see that number on top of their head, they'd start taking life more serious. They'd quit chasing materialistic things, and they'd find peace and they'd find happiness rather than now, because they can't see it. Just like I was saying, everybody's visually satisfied. If they had 30 days left on top of their head, days that they had left, I guarantee they'd start pursuing what they love, pursuing loved ones, and showing affection, getting right with God. Everybody's so visually satisfied that they get caught up on the things that they can see, like the money, like the cars, like the materialistic things. They can't see God's working in their life. They can't see that number on top of their head. Mm-hmm. So granted, it's easy for them to just follow the materialistic things because they can see it. All things that you can see isn't always going to be the right thing. You can't see God working in your life. You can't see that number on top of your head. But I promise you, God's going to make your life so much better. Whether it's hard, whether it's easy, all things that are great are not always going to be hard. You just got to make yourself uncomfortable to put yourself in them situations to better yourself.
And sometimes you will see God working in your life. Like I've seen him. I've asked for signs many times, and I've seen the signs that he's given me. But my thing is, my eyes were open to receiving it. My heart was open. Like, I really want this. Like, I'm really praying for this. It's not just something I'm saying. Like, God, please, like, give me a sign. I'm listening. Like, my eyes are open. Show me something. And like he really does. He will give you signs. Sometimes it's not in the form of a burning bush or water from a stone, obviously, but there's signs that he's given you. Somebody walking out of your life may have been a sign. You're being laid off from your job that you took in spite may have been a sign to, I got better things for you if you really just go this route. Or a business offer, or let's even put finances aside. That dude talking to you at the grocery store that just wanted to say something nice and ask you how your day was, but you ignored him and walked past, that may have engaged in a conversation that God wanted you to have. So sometimes when you're asking him for a sign, but you're not open to seeing and receiving these signs.
Right.
But he's really here working. He really can do these things and show you, like, I got different things for you. But your head's down. You're chasing that money trail. You're chasing the money trail all the way to, it never ends. It just keeps going and keeps going because you're never going to have enough. You'll never be satisfied. You got all this money, but if you just pick your head up, you see around you, God has all this beauty right here. And once you walk away from the money trail, because that's what's feeding your happiness, is you're chasing the money.
Right.
But once you pick your head up and look around, you see all this beauty, all the peace, and all the happiness is around you. You don't need the money. God's like, I'm right here. If you just pick your head up and look at me, I got enough of everything for you. I got enough love right here, and it don't cost you a dime. And that's the thing is love. Man, I base my life on that. I base everything that I do on love and just trying to be a loving person and trying to build relationships. And that's my thing too, is I don't want to leave things left unsaid anymore. And I'm living by that. And I want to always tell, like while I'm right here, I love you. Like, I just want to tell people that, like everyone, that my people know, hey, I love you, because you never know when that number is going to stop.
Right.
And once you truly value love and spreading love and receiving love and just knowing that is, in my opinion, the reason that we're here. Once you truly value that and you realize the money don't matter because you always got enough love. It's just right here.
Yeah, and people get caught up in these earthly things. And really, I mean, you got it down to a T. that we are put on here to love. And I love you too, by the way. I know you was waiting for me to say it back. And yeah, just let your people know you love them. Show God that you love him. And I actually got something written down right here about pursuing what you love. If you want God to bring something into your life that you love and have passion behind, you have to be active and pursue the goals. It's not going to all be figured out overnight. That would make us spoiled, which we are. He's teaching us something and growing us to be ready for that thing that we will love. It's going to be hard, and it's not going to happen overnight. It's going to take some hard work. It's going to take some changing, some anger, some fear. It's going to take all of it, but it's worth it because it's uncomfortable, but it's changing you for the better. It's changing you in that better version that God wants you to be. He, like you said, he's knocking on your door. It's not always going to be easy to open up that door. It's going to be hard. Sometimes it'll be hard, sometimes it'll be easy. But you got to do it.
And the thing is just staying calm with it, not all your actions being out of spite or out of emotion. Because when you're acting out of emotions other than love, such as anger, frustration, jealousy, enviness, when you're acting out of those emotions, you're going to get reactions that are not in your best benefit and that are not in your purpose. When you just truly just stay calm and operate out of love and know out of love and out of patience and know that things are going to come. Once you're on your purpose track and just, okay, I see this is what you really want me to do. I'm going to walk this route. And once you walk it and you continue to stay going towards what you feel like your purpose is and what you're called to do, just lay back and chill. But I'm not saying don't work at it, but don't get spiteful when you feel like you deserve these things. When you feel like I should have been there already, it's not your time.
God writes your story before you're even born. He writes your calling. He writes what you're supposed to be doing. And you just got to pursue that with everything that you have and find that. And it takes time. It takes hardships to go through that and to find that. For example, what are bees put on here to do? They're put here to provide all summer, get supplies, and create honey so that they can survive all winter and keep that queen bee safe. That's what they do. That's what they're born to do. Just like you're born to do something too. The only difference between you and the bees is you have options. The bees have no other options. If they don't provide for that queen bee, they're going to die. They're going to starve. You have easy options and easy routes, so you always take them rather than pursuing it with no matter what it takes. Pursuing your calling, you're finding something you love, doing it with everything that you have, and don't let nothing stop you. Don't let nothing get in the way because you're hungry for it. You're going to starve for that. And if you give up on it, you're going to go hungry.
But wouldn't it be better if we had no other option? That's the mindset to have.
Absolutely.
That's the mindset that I look at. Is with right here doing this, trying to help people, trying to do GHM, and people are like, well, you might want to have a backup plan, you might want to do something else. I have no other option. Just like the bees, like this is what I'm after, this is what I'm pursuing. It's either this or this. Like I'm gonna continue on this until I'm there, because I know this is what I'm called to do. And when you find what you're called to do, pursue that like there's no other option. And when you wake up every day like this, it's either this or nothing. It's either this or I starve. It's either this or I go be unhappy, because this is the one thing that brings me happiness and brings me purpose and makes me feel fulfilled. Once you truly walk into that and live that lifestyle, then you're going to be happy. You're going to be successful because you're living like it's going to happen. It has to happen. You don't have the thought of even failing in your mind because there's no other option other than to succeed.
Right. And people are on earth. They're given options. The easy route, the hard route. But once you look at it like that, there is no option. There is no plan B. It's either this or this. I'll starve before I do a plan B, before I take the easy route. I'll keep grinding. I'll live in a tent if that's what it takes to pursue this. There is no plan B. It's either this or this. I'll starve.
And that's the way that I know we're living, and I just feel like too many people give up on what they feel like their purpose is, or give up on what makes them happy, because in their head the whole time while they're doing makes them happy, they're like, well, if this doesn't work out, I'm gonna go back to this,
right?
Or I'm gonna do this again. You got plan B, C, D, E, like you got all these plans of what ifs, but now you're planning to fail.
Yep.
Because you now know I have a backup plan. But when if you went to battle and you're like, well, if I'm really getting cut up, I can just walk away and I know this dude's gonna help me out. But if you walk into every day like you're walking into a gladiators arena, and it's either you really do this or you're done, you have no other option other than this, then that's when you're gonna be successful. But when you're planning to, man, I could really go back to doing that last job I had, or I could go back to working for this, or I got other side hustles, you're planning to fail. You're never going to be successful in that thing that you love to do, because you're planning to go back and do something that you hate,
Right.
just for comfortability's sake.
And people will be so comfortable that they'll make these plan A's, plan B's, plan C, all of that other options. It makes it easier for them to just give up. It's either plan A or nothing else. Do it with everything that you have and all your passion, because yeah, it's going to be hard. Yeah, it's going to be tiring. You're going to be doubtful, but I promise you, there is no other plan. This is your plan. Keep going. Keep dedicating everything you got to this, because I'm going to say what I said last time. This is what we do. We're going to chase our dreams with everything that we have. There is no other plan.
And it's just that mindset, man, of switching over and know that this is what I'm called to do. This is what I want to do. And this makes me happy. And this is more important than any amount of money that they can give me, more important than anything. And I mean, it may sound like a broken record at this point, but man, it's truly trying to help y'all and truly trying to, uplift you guys and let you know that, man, you really can do what makes you happy. Somebody may have not heard it last time. Somebody may be needed to hear it again. And just continuously letting people know, like, hey, you can really do this thing. You can really do what you want to do. Just don't plan to fail. Don't have a backup. Really go after this thing like, man, this is what I want to do. This is what brings me happiness. I'm after this. Let's go.
And if it brings you happiness, do whatever it takes to make it happen. And I think that's a good way to sum up this podcast. Finding something you love. I got chills throughout doing it, and I found I love doing this.
Me too. And any time, once again, if anybody wants to reach out with some questions, we're going to do something a little different coming soon. We'll leave y'all on the edge of your seat wondering what that is. But
Right.
just if anybody has some questions they want to hit at us that they need help with, or anything that they want to say, reach out anytime on all social media platforms. TikTok's really going well right now, so if you want to give us a follow on there, you can find everything that we offer, from podcasts to if you want to support with some merch or however you want to do it. You just need, a little bit of encouragement. Reach out to us anytime. But yeah, man, I think that's a good way to wrap this up.
I'm pleased with how we're doing this, and I just want to give a shout out to our audience, and I love you guys and love everything that you guys support us right here, as we're the grit and grimy, and it's hard and it's tough, and you guys support us. It's time for you guys to chase your dreams. Let's all make it happen. Let's just help each other out. Be this big community, and hey, let's do it, guys.
I mean, let's start a network, man. If somebody wants to do something that they love and they need a little, you need a little help, encouragement, shout out, whatever, reach out to us. We're all about helping somebody. I mean, we're in the process too. We're trying to come up too. So just,
It's all about trial and triumph.
It is. It's all about, I love seeing people do what they love. And, if they're trying to really make it out and do this thing and they got a good heart, like, I'm all about helping people. So, but yeah, man, I think it's a great way. Love, brother.
Love.
And when you really find that thing that you love.